So last Saturday was a college football fan's holy grail as it finally felt like a return to normalcy in this crazy year of 2020. And we have to talk about one performance in particular because it was incredible. And of course, that was Grant Wells, the Marshall's new starting quarterback against Eastern Kentucky. Now, sure, Eastern Kentucky probably isn't going to finish the year very good. They're going to be one to watch just because of how this game turned out. I'm super intrigued to who they are because you don't know game one, right? But here's what I will say. I'm not trying to take off on some unreasonable hype train for Grant Wells, but I'm here to point out some skills, and we'll be making a video probably next week when I have some time, breaking down his film because it was super fun to watch him play, and there are things in his game that I've talked about with other elite quarterbacks on this channel. Now, I don't think that he is in the same bracket of those elite quarterbacks because I don't think that he has every check mark they have, right? And when I say those elite quarterbacks, when we've done some quarterback comparisons, we've talked about Jamie Newman, Mac Jones, Bryce Young, JT Daniels. We've looked at Spencer Rattler, and I'm not saying Mac Jones is in that category either. Mac Jones is very, very good. He's just good enough to hold out a freshman Bryce Young. You get what I'm saying? Like the experience, he's not going to make mistakes, and he can actually win you some games. All that being said, the reason I don't put Grant Wells in that category is I don't think he has as big of an arm as those guys. Those guys have all the great things that Grant Wells displayed on Saturday, but in a bigger arm. But what did he do exactly that to me is going to translate, right? I don't know that he will give us another 307-yard game where he averages 13.3 yards a throw with 4 touchdowns and a QBR of 89.3. That is hard to do. Super hyper impressive outing. His timing was phenomenal. In an offseason where that's going to be really the thing that separates a lot of quarterbacks, the guys who have elite timing are going to show because of the lack of preparation in the offseason. Timing is something that, yes, some quarterbacks just have natural better timing than others, right? For instance, last year, we looked at a video, Justin Herbert versus Tua Tagovailoa. Justin Herbert has a much bigger arm than Tua. And if, in theory, he can technically make more throws than Tua because of that bigger arm. He can push it into windows that Tua really just probably shouldn't because he can't get that same oomph on the ball. But Tua is a far superior passing because he has timing that as much as you might teach Justin Herbert timing within a system, he will never have the internal clock of Tua. Now, that's not saying that Justin Herbert won't be a wildly successful quarterback, or not even saying that he might not be more successful than Tua. That's yet to be seen. I'm just saying there's that attribute that usually lends to success that Grant Wells had. He had very, very impressive timing. And like I said, this is a year where he didn't get to prepare that timing. And so it leads me to believe that he has a very natural internal clock that is going to be very difficult for defenses to stop. We've talked about guys with elite timing can take a slant route and hit it perfectly. I mean, buttery smooth. And that slant route will go for days. Just think back to OU versus Alabama in that playoff game. They opened it up with that RPO Tua to Devontae Smith, and it was timed so perfectly when Devontae Smith planted his right foot that the defense couldn't do anything about it, right? Even if there was better coverage, because I understand OU didn't have the best defense, that still would have been a positive game because the timing makes it next to impossible to cover. Watch the video where we talk about the Tua Tagovailoa versus Justin Herbert, where we break down the Tua versus Louisville film, and his timing in that game was impeccable, and it was his first start, and that's when people kind of got put on notice. Now, he had a bigger arm than Grant Wells has. I will give you that. Tua does, I believe, have a bigger arm than Grant Wells. But once again, that's not a knock because Grant Wells showed the ability to be able to destroy a team with great timing, great placement, and great decision making. And that's kind of some things that will make an elite quarterback. And this has been a long-winded video in order to get to the point of Grant Wells could be an elite quarterback. Now, we need to temper our expectations because it was a one-game sample size, but the skills he displayed are skills that usually lend itself to very consistent quarterback play. Now, sure, Grant Wells isn't going to be playing LSU, A&M, Alabama, and Ohio State, Clemson defenses. But if he continues to display that timing, as young as he is, that's going to be a young man to look out for. And it's always fun to me to watch young college quarterbacks go out there game one, because you really get to see who is a deer in the headlights and who isn't. And sure, this kid might be a redshirt quarterback. That's fine. I don't care. It was his first start. You can be on campus. That just means you know the system. That doesn't mean you know the moment. That moment is everything. And hey, hats off to him, man. He had probably the most impressive outing of anybody this weekend. Surely a crazy hype expectation to live up to next week. But we got to watch it, man. I mean, it's must see at this point with what he did, because he has skills that are very hard to teach. You can teach timing. Once again, you can teach it within a system. You can't teach a guy this incredible natural cluck, right? Mahomes has it. Russell Wilson has it. Aaron Rodgers has it. Brady. My God, Brady has it. Brady's internal clock is impeccable. That's why he might not have the biggest arm in the league, but he's been killing the league for years because his timing and accuracy is uncanny. Guys like that are hyper successful, and Grant Wells displayed some of those skills, so he's a guy we got to watch out for. Comment down below who you're excited to watch this year, because there's a lot of exciting players to keep an eye out for. I'm going to give you two guys that personally I cannot wait to watch suit up, because I think they're going to be incredible. One, Derek Stingley from LSU. That kid might be the best defensive player in the country as a sophomore. He is elite. He is an elite athlete. He will be coached up to elite fundamentals, and he already has them. He got beat one time real bad last year by Devontae Smith, and that's not really a knock. Devontae Smith is a hyper intelligent receiver, and he was a freshman corner. And, sure, he's been more athletic than almost everybody he met, until he met Devontae Smith, and he met a guy that is in his wheelhouse. Now, I do believe Derek Stingley is more athletic than Devontae Smith, but not by an outrageous amount, right? He was in his wheelhouse, and Devontae Smith is so cerebral at playing receiver that he took it to him. But that was really the only time he got beat bad. I think that's the best defensive player in the nation. Number two, Jalen Waddle from Alabama. The guy is a jack of all trades. He is very underrated in his route running, and I think that he will really show that this year. And he's going to be an all-around menace for defenses in the SEC. That's it. Comment down below games you're excited about seeing this weekend. And hey, if we get some comments talking about some games, we'll talk about those games come Sunday. That's it for this video. See ya.